Hello everyone and welcome. We are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and we are once again in Kerbal Space Program Hardcore mode. Basically what this is a stock game being played on hard mode. I then did myself the further disservice of turning the science return down to 30% of what it normally is. I do have mods installed, but the mods installed are all either graphic improvement mods or quality of life UI types of mods. All the parts, all the contracts, all the gameplay are still stock. And what we have here is this is the ABS Comet Hunter 1, and we have aboard Fuzzy 1, Deluxe, Bob, and Zambinis. And I am realizing, and I realized this after the last stream on Thursday when I picked this crew for this mission, that this is like 3/4 of the same crew that's been spending the past pile of streams all hanging around Mimmis doing stuff, and I just picked them again. so sort of, I guess I'm playing some favorites, I don't know. But anyway, what the mission is to return a sample of Comet Agarod Barford Sinand 1. So I got to bring a scientist out there, collect a sample. Doesn't say I got to bring him back, but we are going to bring him back. So if I go into map view here and scroll on out, the comet in question, oh, here it is right here. There's the comet in question. It's in this big elliptical orbit, as comets are wont to do. And right now we have performed our ejection burn. We did that at the end of last stream. We're on a path here to meet up with basically the periapsis of this comet's orbit, in which place we're going to do a burn, which is going to put us into this elliptical orbit. And after we do one orbit, we should be rendezvousing with the comet again down here, and then getting a sample, and then hopefully getting these folks home. That is basically the plan for today. Yeah, that's about it. That's all we got going. Now, before I get any further along with this stream, I am going to mention that I always like to take some time at the very beginning of these streams to thank the Patreon patrons and YouTube members who directly support this channel as I watch the sun rising over here over the limb of Kerbin. And in particular, what I like to do is welcome aboard my most recent Patreon patrons and YouTube members. So, and since the Artemis launch, and since I started that career walkthrough tutorial and stock walkthrough tutorial thing, yeah, I've been picking up members, so here they come. These are just in the last week, so welcome aboard Kush Coder, Betty Capulong, and I'm sorry for any mispronunciations I might introduce in all of this. Jake W. Hi, Mom. Jean Almonte, Anton Rivet, Daxarea, I'll go with Daxarea, Penny, Mine Artist, Ben Bumgarner, and Funky Fresh Fish. Welcome aboard, my most recent YouTube members and Patreon patrons. Thank you very much for your support, and of course that thanks gets extended out to all of the Patreon patrons and YouTube members who directly support this channel, as well as everybody else that engages with the content here, whether that is in the chat or in the comments or whatever else people are doing, or just simply watching the video passively in the background. Okay, so what I got going on here is, well, I do have the science lab, and the science lab, I figure I might as well bring it along. And it is, I did do collect some science while I was in low orbit. We got the our two scientists here processing that science, and I only have 27 science data aboard. They're only making 0.4374 science per day, not exactly cranking out the science. And I really should have, if I put a little bit more forethought into this, I really should have decked this out with science equipment. I didn't think about it because it's like, oh, I've been in orbit about the sun, I've been, you know, in high space about Kerbin and all that kind of stuff. I've collected all that science before. Why do I need to collect more? Well, I could have just taken that data and processed it into the lab. Now, there is one piece of science equipment I did bring, that I did have the foresight to bring. Open this up. I did bring the EVA experiment kit. So why don't we do that? I should have done one in low orbit while I was there, but as you can see, we are well past getting ourselves into low orbit. So what I should be doing, I don't know why I don't see Bob or Zumbinis in the science lab. So let's move this to the... Okay. There we go. Can I do it that way? No, they're not there. Okay, fine. Well, let's EVA Zumbinis. And there it is. So we're going to make sure to replace our parachute with that, not the... There. Okay, and now... Wait a minute. Did I do that right? I still see the parachute. What did I just do? Oh, I did Bob. I gave Bob the thing. Bob! What are you doing to me? Okay, I want to give this to Zumbinis. I want to give the parachute back to Bob. There, that makes more sense. Let go. And we'll do ourselves the wingnut experiment. Perform some EVA science. Yeah, we are just started to stream their lightning struck Kerbin. Okay. You can see here there's no science, but that doesn't matter. It is a demonstration of the intermediate axis theorem. That's a real thing. You can look that up with the wingnut flipping back and forth. But we'll grab that. And we should be getting ourselves back here. There we go. Now, one thing I should be saying about these streams is that I am doing them now twice a week. It was every Tuesday I was doing KSB, and every Thursday I was doing something else. But the plan is at the end of June to end this particular series. I won't have the opportunity to do live streaming this summer. So what I want to do is draw this to a close by doing as many of the most interesting contracts that I can find left. That's why we're doing this Comet thing that I've never ever done before. And in order to speed things up, I'm doing KSP both Tuesdays and Thursdays, so twice a week. Anyway, in here now, we should have some data to review. There it is, and that's 70 more data units that can be processed into science. So now we're making 0.6642 science per day. Woohoo! Okay, but anyway, let us then... I do have a alarm set up for the time for the SOI change. So why don't we just time warp our way to that? Yeah, I'm very excited about this. I love it when I get to things that I've never done before, and trying to catch a comet is something I've never done before. I also hope we get a nice view of the comet. I'm noticing my signal is dying off. Did I open my antenna? I did not. Where is it? There it is. I did not open the antenna. We're losing signal. I'm amazed we still have any bars at all here. Holy jumpins. That's incredible. Oh, wait till the time warp stops. Why is it taking so long to time warp? Keep going. There we go. "60% science." This is 30% science. Is what I'm doing. Everything else is at 60% though. I did start this whole series at 10% and I found it just entirely too much a grind. I did not find it fun, especially in a live stream, so I sped things up a little bit. Okay, we're at that alarm. I can now extend that antenna and get our signal here back. And honestly, all of this should go all pretty quick. Whoa, we just swapped SOIs there. I do want to keep an eye on electricity because although now we're going to be moving closer to the sun, pretty soon we're going to be moving further away from the sun. So let's take a look here. We have this maneuver coming up in 235 days. And we have an encounter here. Let's see if I can tweak this a little bit. Our closest approach is 78,000 kilometers. Can I do a little tweaking of that? Here. A little bit better. It feels like I should be able to get it better than that. 28,000. 136,000. Oh, okay. Those are some big jumps. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, here we go. 18,000, 15, 10,000, 7,000, 5,000, 3,000. Oh, that put it back to 4,000. I mean, at this kind of interplanetary distances, having a 3,000 kilometer separation is pretty gosh darn close. Okay, so this burn, this is going to be probably the biggest burn of this whole thing, is coming up here, 2,597 meters per second. It's going to take me 6 minutes, 45 seconds to do the burn. Do I have any kind of thrust on this motor? I do have full thrust. What's the TWR here? I just want to... Is this now the TWR relative to the sun? It probably is. Which is not that useful, is it? We'll just turn it down. Okay. We got some science we can do. Why don't we do it? So we can do, not a lot, but we can do a crew report, again for 0, but we can process that into the thingy. We can get some Binis out again. Some Binis can do an EVA report. Like that. We can let go. We can do again the EVA science experiment. What's the mod where the Kerbals all have hairstyles and stuff? Oh my gosh! Look at that. I've never done this out here. Okay. That is Texture Replacer is the name of that mod. And you can change the appearances of your Kerbals. I like my Kerbals to look different. It's just something I do. Okay, so we're going to store this stuff in here. And then we're going to go in here. Square brackets, there we go. I know how this game works. We're going to review the data. This now can be transmitted, so it is... oh, it's only 15 science. It's not that exciting. This one can be processed. But now I can go back to some Binis. We can do that again. There we go. Oh, something I should show people just for giggles. I always find this fun. Just to show you, I'll recycle this one. But just to show you that conservation of angular momentum is a thing, I'm going to turn off her RCS. So she's just floating, and I'm going to perform the same EVA experiment. For those people that have never done this before, you should always do this. So we're going to spin another one. She has an infinite supply, and she spins the other way. Though she's spinning so gosh darn quick, that has to be the heaviest wing nut in the world for that to come off like that. All right, well, we'll settle her down. Where's our ship? There we go. You can do what you like with your Jebediah there, Edward. There's no judgment here. Heck, my Jebediah went flat very, very early in this series. Okay, so we should be able to review that one, process that one. We're now up to, oh, 5 science a day now. Oh my gosh, we are cooking. We are cooking, and I got to pay attention to... Well, this thing can only hold up to 500 science, so I do want to pay some attention to transmitting some of that away. But otherwise, why don't we just time warp our way towards that maneuver? There's really nothing else for us to do here, so we're just going to do that. Like I said, this should all get done pretty quickly. No life support mods. Again, this is a stock game, so I don't have to think about any of that kind of stuff. And actually, that's the end of the EVA pack. Now, I'm noticing, for whatever reason, there's weird things that happen with the cargo processing in this game. Yeah, I'm sure other people have noticed that before, where, like, where's my EVA pack and why do I now have 3 parachutes? I don't know what happened there. That's very, very strange. But we are making science. How close are we? We're 30 days, starting to slow down on the time warp. Trying to catch us. This mission also is, it's going to be years. It's going to be years before these folks are back home. Oh, I guess I gave myself a day's warning ahead of this maneuver. That probably isn't a bad idea. Let's put this on orbit. Sure why I'm like that. Okay, close the maneuver. There we go. Let's see. We do have 189 science, almost that, to transmit, so we can transmit that science. We can also see if any of our Kerbals need to level up. That might be a worthwhile thing to do. And then we'll also check on our maneuver. Jeff is sniffing flowers from the underside. Yes, in this hardcore series. Yes, this is a hardcore series, so that means no quick saves, no reverts. If bad things happen, I just gotta live with it. Okay, that science has been transmitted. We are charging back up our batteries. I don't know what's going on with these parachutes, but that kind of annoys me. Thankfully, there's no more of those, what do you call them? Those EVA experiments left to do. Let's just check in our maneuver, make sure we still have a decent... Last time I checked, this was 3,000 separation here. It's now 4,000. It's sort of funny how it can change without me doing anything. Oh, that looks to me like it's closer. 3,000 again. Is there any kind of normal adjustment? What if I make a bit of normal adjustment? If I can get the AN a little closer, usually you can even dial this in more. It might not be a bad idea. Okay, putting in normal. Okay, that moves the AN. Okay, now I'm going to go back here. Putting in a little bit of normal shouldn't make that much of a difference. Okay. Let's do the normal again. Yeah, I gotta churn up the scale when I go to do the normal. Turn down the scale. I don't think I'm accomplishing anything. Maybe normal the other way? I'm just trying to move that AN closer, but everything's so glitchy and bouncy. Maybe I shouldn't be expecting it to be... Got a little closer. Is that more normal? I'm hardly changing the burn at all. The thing to notice is even though I'm putting in a lot of a normal component to this. You know what? I can't burn this precisely anyway. Here, let's forget this. Let's take the normal component out. Put that back to 0. Put that back to here. Tweak this business. We can do any plane changes later. Goodness sakes. There we go. All right. That burn's coming up in a day, like I said. So let's get that done. Warp to the maneuver. And always, there's nothing to look at out here other than the sun. Do you have any advice for setting up a first relay network if you can only have a connection from the KSC directly? I'm having trouble with being connected when I need to separate my satellites. I have done that before where you only have the KSC. Put your first relay up. Here, I got to get ready to do this. But let me do this and then we'll talk. Let's spin this thing around. I'm only a minute away from the burn. Now we got a tiny amount of this burn left in this stage. This was the upper stage, sort of the sustainer stage for our orbital insertion. And then we're going to go on to the good old nerve engines. Do it like this. So this thing will be left to float around in interplanetary space. I don't have a problem with that. I hope none of you do. And if you did, that's too bad. Okay, 10 seconds to the burn. And then we got 3 nerve engines coming on after that. So 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh yeah, I did turn that down, didn't I? Yeah, I'm hardly pulling any... Okay. Stage. There we go. And that's just the cowling around the nerve. There we are. So not a lot of TWR coming here, but, you know, in interplanetary space, you just don't need the thrust-to-weight ratio. And look at how beautiful that is, especially the way they're interacting in between here. That looks wonderful. The engine effects are coming from the Waterfall mod. The engine sounds are coming from appropriately named engine sound enhancements. I'm going to give this a little bit of physics work because this is like a 6-minute burn. This will give us a chance to talk. Oh yes, about the relays, and if you only have the KSC, do your first relay. You just got to kind of play around with it a little bit. Try to get it up fairly high, but also go up fairly steeply, so that when you get up to your apoapsis, you will still have the KSC below you, and then you can circularize it and get that first relay up. And then once you get the first relay up, the rest of them start to get easier because now you have a relay up. But you want to launch your first one up fairly steeply, much more steeply than what you normally would do. And get it up to wherever you plan, whatever altitude you plan to put it at, and then you should try and keep. That'll help you keep the KSC below it the whole time. Insert that one into its orbit, and then things get easier after that. You're gonna obviously it's gonna cost you more fuel, but that's kind of the price. Is a tasty looking rocket, do you think? I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it. Kind of reusable too. In a way, I have to think about, you know, I do have, like, of the contracts that are left, one of them's a Duna mission. I would think I'd have to go through the numbers, but I would think it would be appropriate for doing a Duna mission. Why wouldn't it be? I don't know. Maybe not, but maybe we can do some sort of something, you know, transport a bunch of Kerbals to Duna, reuse this thing. That would be pretty cool, I think. We'll see. We'd have to refuel it all, obviously. That might be something worth thinking about. Okay, we're down to about 43 seconds left. Let's take the time warp off. Let's take a look at our approach indicators. There we go. Seeing our intersect with our comet here. See, the intersect, regardless of how I do this, is going to be years away. Okay, we're getting close, and it might be a little finicky. Still measured. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! I just know. Oh, why is it off the? Just noticed that it went off the. I guess because it thinks we're close enough to the end of the burn. Interesting. Okay, we can take our time at this point. Just kind of keeping it on that blue maneuver vector, but the blue maneuver vector option went away. Okay, we're really close. Well, gigameters, remember, I guess close is a relative word. So 1,000. Now we're into megameters. A megameter, that would be 500,000 kilometers, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. We'll keep going down. I think we got it down around 3,000 kilometers, did we not? Oh, that's gone back the other way. Okay, this might be as good as we're going to get. Let's spin this around. Let's turn off 2 of the engines. Shut down you and shut down you. And do some fine tuning. The maneuver's not doing anything for me. So I got 106,000 kilometers here. I know I got it like 3,000, right? So I've turned it down to just one of those nerve engines. Maybe even take this one and really... That might have been too much. So we're looking at like a 1/6 of the thrust that I previously just had. Oh yeah, this is helping. Let's really turn this down. I don't have any RCS aboard. Probably would have been a good idea, but I didn't do it. That's 3,000, and I just went past it. So we're about 3,000 kilometers. Okay, I don't need to do that. Let's put these all back to what they were. Activate that engine. Activate that engine. That one's set. Okay, turn this way. All right, so right now we are in this big old blue orbit, this lazy orbit here. It's going to take us almost 5 years to go all the way around. And in that amount of time, I suspect the comet will only do this part of its orbit, and then we're going to rendezvous down here, And we have an approach speed of about 443 meters per second, which isn't bad. I want to see if I can put in a maneuver now, though, and see if I can, maybe about halfway here, and see if we can not close this distance in even more. Just a little bit. So this might be the place to sort of play around with this normal component a little bit. Oh, wow, that made a more of a difference than I thought it would. Could also just flat out do the plane change. Maybe that's not a bad idea. That might make my life just all easier all the way around. Let's go to here. Let's delete this node. Because I do have the DN way out here at Apoapsis. We only have a 2.2 degree inclination difference. What if I just zeroed this? It can't be much to get this down to 0 way out here. Where's my AN? There we go. It's no right in the sun, but I'm looking at the 2.2. That's not changing anything. There we go. Trying to get it right down to 0, which is probably completely unnecessary. Let's turn up the time scale a lot and get that right on the DN. Now turn this down. There it is, 0. Okay. And now we have a close encounter here and a close encounter here. If I play a little bit with the retrograde and stuff, can I move those? I sure can. Oh, whoa, I got 353 kilometers here separation. That's probably as good as I'm going to get. And we'll close that in as we fall towards it for sure. Okay, there we go. 328 kilometers. Okay, so this zeroes out the inclination between the two. And it closes in the rendezvous. We'll probably end up doing more burns as we fall in towards each other. The Mark III has... Oh, but I don't have a Mark III capsule aboard. I have the, what do you call that? The cupola module, and I got a hitchhiker, and I got that. And did I take the monopropellant out? I didn't, so I got some useless monopropellant, but I don't have RCS. Okay, I think that's all pretty good. This burn's coming up in 2 years, so what I'm going to start doing is, again, paying attention to the science. We may end up processing all the data that we have. And if we do, that's okay. So let's start heading out. This is going to start time warping. This is going to take a little while. There we go. And I want to keep a close eye on electricity because we are now definitely moving away from the sun. Oh, where is the sun? I'm at full time warp. How is our science doing? We are filling up our science lab. That is good. I'm using up the data very slowly. I got a feeling we are going to run out of data. Electricity is still holding strong. You can see where we are out here. See our comets moving very slowly. This is where one more... I know there's a mod, Better Time Warp, that allows you to get faster time warping than this, but that's okay. We'll deal. Kind of don't mind going slowly anyway. All right. Again, electricity is holding strong. I got 2 more of those Gigantor solar panels that I can deploy. So I'm pretty happy that we're getting out around Joule. There's Joule right there. So, pretty good. Still a year and 200 days from the maneuver. Let's just stop for just a moment. Are we still processing science? We are. Can I see the... There's... I mean, shouldn't we be able to see the comet? There's the comet right there. I don't know if they model how... If the tail only comes out when... But it's pretty close. If I look at the sun and then turn not quite 180 degrees towards the right, so this way, I'm in the same plane as the comet. I would think we'd be able to see it, but maybe it's not close enough yet. That's the sun again. Oh, wait a minute. I know what we can do. If we point directly away from the sun using the radial, maybe that'll help me zero this in a little bit better. Well, that actually doesn't point directly away from the sun. It actually points this direction, doesn't it? Yeah. So that doesn't really point directly away from the sun. That's my mistake. I just realized that. Like, if you look, see, I'm not pointing close. Not quite. It should be kind of over this way. But maybe we're not seeing it yet. Alright, maybe when we're closer. Let's keep time warping. Aren't you targeting the comet? Yes, I am targeting the comet. That's a very good point. Why don't I have... Oh, I got to put this to target icon. And now I don't have the option to target... That's interesting. I don't have a lock to target. Maybe I'm not close enough to it? That is the maneuver. This is the locked target icon. I don't know if I even see it. I guess I'm not close enough to it yet. Just gonna kind of do a little bit of a... Oh wait, there's the anti-target icon. Okay, okay, we can point towards the target. Actually, if I do it this way, I can point... Oh, okay, we'll keep going the way we're going. The rocket wants to do that. I'm not one to argue. There we go. There's our target icon. So now I should be pointing straight at the target. Thank you for pointing that out. And now I am totally convinced we cannot see this comet yet. And I am noticing too that while I was doing that maneuvering, the reaction wheels were using up the electricity, which means we're right at the edge with electrical production. So I'm going to extend our last two solar panels. But yeah, there is no comet over there. Hopefully there will be soon. Okay, okay. The comet cannot be targeted, but I am targeting the comet. I don't know. Or maybe you mean it can't be targeted using these two guys. Yeah. Okay, we are closing in on the target. We are going to come all the way through this. We should be coming closer and closer to the comet all the way along. Wow, this takes a while. And we're still, I mean, at some point. But then again, if they model the whole, you know, you don't have a tail until you're close to the sun. Maybe they do that with comets. I mean, that would be appropriate. Out here, it really should be just an ice ball. Okay, I'm going to stop the time warp, and I'm going to time warp using this button. So I know it'll stop a minute before the burn. Keep watching. Electricity is doing good. Science is being generated. We are going to run out of data any moment. Any moment we're running out of data to process, so that's going to be the end of that ride. Oh, I should have brought more science equipment with me. That was just dumb. Alright, 190 days. How do you get the Navball to the left side? That's in your settings. You can go into your settings. There's a little slider for moving the Navball around. I like it over here to the left and putting all of this stuff together. The Rosette orbit looks amazing. I just learned about it. I now have a favorite type of orbit. Yeah, it's sort of funny as I don't know the proper names of a lot of these types of orbits. I just sort of do them. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? Oh, whoa, whoa. 20 days, 18 days, 10 days. Are you going to stop for me? Oh, just stop right at a minute. Oh my gosh. We weren't screwing around. Okay, put this back on orbit. How come I can't? That's weird. I can't target the maneuver. I don't know why. So this is just a 13-second burn. Am I out of data, by the way? Almost out of data. I'm very happy that these solar panels have held out. I was really worried about electricity. But clearly I didn't need to worry about electricity. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shut down 2 of these motors. There's no rush with this burn. I'm more interested in doing it precisely. Okay, 2, 1, go. So just doing it on 1 motor. Makes it a 30-something second burn. Made the burn a little longer, but that's okay. So this is zeroing our relative inclination, but it also should be closing in this distance. Okay, getting close here. Start reducing that throttle. Okay, I'm seeing... Where am I seeing? I'm seeing the numbers going up. Might have to retweak this. I'm looking at my rendezvous numbers, and all I see is them going up. Just put it over back onto that maneuver node. I don't know if this matters. We can do a second maneuver to close the distance. It's not a big deal. Okay, let's try that. Oh, that's bringing it down. Just doing little puffs. 3,000, 1,000. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. 182 kilometers. 182.525 kilometers to be precise. I'm not touching that no more. Absolutely leaving that alone. You can see out here, even with, though my angle to them is not very good, but even with these 4 Gigantor solar panels with the lab running and the reaction wheels running, I'm actually using up battery power. Let's see if we can make this a little bit better. But pretty soon the lab will be done, and that's our biggest source of electrical usage anyway. Okay, we're charging again. Alright, so, what do we got here? We got a rendezvous coming up in... This is the one I'm interested in here, right? No. Yes, this one. 182 kilometers or 183 kilometers. It's in 2 years, 208 days. I'm going to just flat out time warp to here. I think that's probably the better plan. So let's just warp to here. This will probably finish off all our science data. But now we're getting closer to the sun. We're getting closer to Kerbin. Which level is your pilot? Oh, I forgot. I should level up my crew. I should level up my crew. They might be. Right now, my pilot is... Where's my pilot? Deluxe is my pilot. Level 2. I do have, like, the high-end Pro Core in here somewhere. Don't I? Oh, maybe I don't. I think I lost my high-end Pro Core. Oh, that might be what's going on. I think I lost my high-end Pro Core with the previous stage when I ditched it. That might be why I can't do these lock-on things. But let's see if we can level up the crew anyway. That might be what's going on. Though I mean, I should be able to get them all to level 3, right? If I level them up. The lab will level them up. Still a little bit of data left. It's going to crank through the rest of this for sure. Comets say that Google says that comets and KSP get a tail as they move towards the sun. Okay, good. I wasn't sure if that was being modeled or not, so we should at some point see a comet as we get closer and closer to the sun. I remember once in the game, more than once, but I do remember seeing comets in the game, like just being, you know, flapping about doing my normal KSP things, and all of a sudden going, "Oh my gosh, there's a comet! That is so cool." But this is my first time actually going to visit one. What's fun is we are rendezvousing with it right at periapsis, right at its closest approach to the sun, which probably in real life, if you were to do such a thing, would not be the right time to do it, because there would be all kinds of off-gassing and stuff. It's not as, oh my god, what's the, yeah, I'm thinking of Armageddon, aren't I? One of the least accurate space movies of all time. But didn't they have like stuff going off of comets and blowing people off the surface? And yeah, it was a little silly. Wouldn't be like that, but still at the same time having off-gassing while you're trying to come is probably not the best thing. Okay, where are we at? How are we doing? We are 220 days from our... And we should be. Come on. Can we start seeing our comet yet? There's the sun. It's going to be over this way. Somewhere. Maybe not yet. Oh, right now the ship is pointed pretty much right at the comet. So yeah, definitely not seeing it. I just noticed the target vector right there. And we're still processing science, amazingly enough. But that ride's going to be over pretty soon. We have been, this mission is now over 5 years old. Oh, I do have communication. That's not been an issue. Oh, whoa, whoa, where do you think you're going? Okay, let's, the time warp just stopped. Let's level up our crew. And instantly now I have the stick it on the target buttons. So we got now a level 3 pilot, a level 3 scientist and Bob. Zambinis is still just a lonely level 2. Because, what? This doesn't get, like, planting a flag on Mimbus and then orbiting around the sun is not enough to get you level 3? I guess not. Okay. And our engineer, Fuzzy One, is now a level 3. But we are now pointing straight at the comet. We did now got these guys. So that explains why, because of my pilot level. And I ditched my good probe core. Which, maybe that wasn't good design on my part. Okay, let's see if we can not, because we are getting close to this. We are now 170 days from our encounter. Let's see if we can not do something to close this distance in a little bit more. So we're at 182 kilometers. This is obviously going to be really small. I'm going to just use the little widgety tool. I'm going to keep the scale small. And I'm just going to try... Well, one thing I can see is if I get the AN to be right where the encounter is, that usually makes the whole... That moves it in the right direction. You want to get the AN, or if it happens to be a DN, right at where the encounter is. Now, can I do a little radialness? Oh, 37 kilometers. 19 kilometers, 12 kilometers, 20... Yeah. That might be as close as I'm going. Oh, 8.5 kilometers with a little bit of normal, 4.3. 1 kilometer separation. Oh, let's not fiddle with that anymore. So we got this maneuver coming up, a nothing maneuver. Are these engines still off? Yeah. So let's see if I can turn this thrust. This is where RCS clearly would have been a good idea. But I can at least turn this down to 0.5. And why did that make this burn time's now 4 days? It doesn't like that. Okay. Okay, make it a 1. Now it's 3 seconds. Why didn't it like 0.5? Now it likes it. No, it doesn't. That's interesting. Okay. Whatever. I love unlimited throttle. No, you have to fly by the moon too. Okay, so poor Zambinis. These other folks have done, yeah, there's a plant a flag on the moon there. There's a plant a flag on the moon there. And there is a plant a flag on the moon there. So poor Zambinis here has never been to the moon, so that's why she gets gypped. That's okay. We're all good. It's not like we can process a lot of science anyway. Alright, so this burn's coming up in 130 days. Let's get her done. And I'm going to keep it pointing towards the comet. I'm hoping at some point we'll begin to see it. Oh, 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 oh. Does everybody see that? See it? See it there? We're having a growing tail growing right in front of us. Wow. Now it's looking pretty sketchy. That actually looks kind of amazing. Kind of amazing. I got a feeling some of my mods are affecting this. Oh my gosh, that looks incredible. Let's just get... How far away am I from it now? If I open up this HUD here. We are now only 2,000 kilometers away from our comet. Look at it. That looks amazing. That's fantastic. Okay, I do have a maneuver to perform. And we still have scientific data to process. That's kind of amazing. We can probably lose a couple of these, though, now that we're close to the sun. That looks amazing. That was cool. I love that. 1% engine power, I know. And I'm disappointed I couldn't get it down to 0.5% engine power. It is a little silly in the stock game. How? Whoa. Let's take this off for a second. The maneuver, just the ship moving. This is such a nothing burn. Maybe I should just actually... Just the moving of the ship is affecting the maneuver. Do you see that? You know what I should do? So this is like really rather silly, is just move this maneuver. Because I can't, and it'll be a little bit bigger, but this is a little silly. There. This is such a nothing burger maneuver. So what we'll do is we'll move it. Maybe about half that distance, maybe to about here. Make it a little less of a nothing burger, nothing burger maneuver. Okay. Okay, so I'm just readjusting because I couldn't do that burn. It's just too small. It's silly. A little radial, yep. Okay, I saw 10 kilometers here. It's still kind of a nothing burger. Let's get it closer still. Turn up that time scale. Turn up that time scale. Okay, let's try it around here. So 50 kilometers, a little more radial. Might be better with, well, whoops, that's the wrong way. 21 kilometers. Maybe a little bit of prograde, retrograde might help too. Try again a little normal. 17, 15, 13, 9, 7, 5, 3, 1.5. A little radial there. Both of those make it worse. A little prograde, that makes it worse. A little retrograde. I see 300 meters. Okay, and now I got a little bit more of a substantial burn, so let's get ourselves to that. Let's keep it pointing towards, let's keep it pointing away from the comet. That seems like a more sensible choice. So we'll get ourselves a little closer to this comet. Hopefully, I do like that suddenly it appeared there, though. Okay, all right, this burn's coming up in 20 days. Abandoned the previous burn because it was just so small I was having trouble just doing it. Get ourselves closer. We are still processing science, amazingly. We're only doing 0.07 science a day. Maybe I should just be done with it. I'm just noticing that right there. 0.007 science per day. It's hardly any of this data is disappearing. I think it's not going to go down to 0. So what I'm going to do is probably just turn off the lab once this time warp is done. Or maybe once this maneuver is done. This looks like you're just in a race now when you're time warping. Okay, that looks pretty good. Can I now put this on to the maneuver? Will it let me? Not be silly. Really start to see now the clouds. That tail. There's definite definition in that tail now that you can see. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're looking at this first intersect here. I don't have to wait for this to get 0. It's not time sensitive, so I'm just going to start doing a little bit of a burn in this direction. For whatever reason, the whole burn thing just went red, but as long as my intersect distance is going down, I'm just going to keep going this way. Very little throttle. You know what, I'm gonna just lock that there. I don't know what's going on with the maneuver node. It's all confused. But I am bringing the intersect distance down. That's what matters. Then we'll just keep getting ourselves closer and closer. Okay, 4 kilometers. It's still having a little bit of thrust here. 2 kilometers. 1 kilometer separation. 468 meter separation. I'm going to stop right there. Stop right there. Put this back here. We are about 1,000 kilometers away. We have a relative velocity with our target of 160. I think I can just close this in now. Not do any maneuvers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this throttle limiter back up. Put this, activate this engine. Activate that engine. We're also going to stop all our research. There's no point to this anymore. And we're going to transmit what science we have. We have 162 science. So just transmit that. No more research to do. Now we are going to get a sample of a comet, so hopefully that will be okay. I bet this comet will give you a bunch of good science and data. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. Okay. Okay, let's just start getting closer now. According to this, we're still 18 days away, so let's just start time warping. Oh, and of course, as soon as I start time warping, I hate that. When I time warp, notice how this prediction becomes a mess. So instead of doing it that way, what we'll do, let's set an alarm, because I'm so paranoid about missing it, right? So I'm going to set an alarm. One thing I learned when doing this, I'll show you this because I've made this mistake too many times. So it's really tempting to say, okay, make an alarm for that. Isn't there an encounter here? Does it just not see the encounter? The closest approach? Okay, no, it doesn't. All right, never mind. It's going to be a manual alarm. So, if there was the close approach option here, don't use it, because as soon as you time warp and that close approach distance changes, the alarm changes along with it, and you can blow right by your encounter. So I see 19 days, so I'm just going to put in 19 days. That will stop me just under 5 hours ahead of it. That's more than enough, so we'll add that alarm right there. Get rid of the alarm clock, and we'll put that Kerbal engineer guy back up again, because I like having that distance indicator. Okay, again, we're about 1,000 kilometers away. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, get more time warping. We're days away from this thing, right? Yeah, more time warping. Come on. There we go. That's better. More time warping. It should stop me. Oh my gosh, that's getting scary now. That tail is getting scary. We're like we're going in it. Let's keep going. We are in the coma. Oh boy, whoa, 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 what happened here? We went past it. How did that happen? I set that alarm. Oh my gosh. I am so... How the hell did that happen? We're gonna have to chase it. Frickety frackety froo. How? Why? Okay, we gotta burn this way. Man, I don't understand how that happened. So we went right by it. Exactly the fear I had, exactly the reason why I set up this alarm. I guess the intercept distance was lying to me. I don't know. We're going straight at the comet. How is this going straight towards the comet? Son of a... I don't understand how that's... This looks like the comet's over here, right? We're only 2 kilometers away from the comet. Burning. I'm reducing my relative speed to it. Yes, right? Isn't that right? Okay, I gotta bring my relative speed down. We're only 2 kilometers away. I think we're okay. Okay, now I'm increasing my relative speed to it. Yep, we're getting... Okay, we're gonna be there. Cut. Spin it around. Oh, that made me mad. I know the comet moves, but it should be taking that all into account. I mean, everything moves in space. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I now have a closest approach of about 1.2 kilometers, and we're getting there. That closest approach is in 20 minutes. Still rather peeved about all that. I guess the comet is that way, even though I see this. I guess that's just the whole coma thing. Now, I'm going to try and see if I can just fiddle around with trying to reduce this. Seeing which way will reduce this close encounter. God dang. Or maybe use a maneuver. That might be a better plan. There's our intersect. Can I put a maneuver here? There's a maneuver coming up in 7 minutes. Yep, that's moving it in the right direction, right? And then a little bit of maybe retro, maybe radial. Nope, the other way. Okay, this is... What this will do is set up a vector for me. And then if I point it on that vector... Nope, that made it worse. Okay, that... Oh, there's 0. So what I'm going to do is put it right onto that vector. I should be able to reduce this distance. My closest approach distance. At least we're moving towards it now. Now, hopefully, I didn't blow... I think we should still have plenty of fuel for getting these folks back home. That's the other issue. I really don't want to get into any kind of rescue. All right, so we're pointing in the right direction. Let's just give a little bit... Oh, no. Let's turn off some of our engines here. Shut down that engine. Shut down that engine. Just go on 1. Definitely working. Definitely working. It's funny how the maneuver goes red here. But anyway, you can see here the close approach distance is coming down. 400 meters. 200 meters. Less than 100 meters. There we go. 162 meters. We'll stop with that. Point at the end of the target. Open this up again. Fly on all these engines. Our approach speed is 91 meters per second. Ah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess the sun is that way. It might be just totally obscured in the Comet. Like, we might be right... There it is. There's our comet. That's our comet nucleus right there. Now that we're within, I don't know, whatever distance it was to show it to us. Okay. That looks really pretty, though, looking that way. Okay. We're going to be there in 17 minutes. Our approach speed is 91 meters per second. So let's get ourselves a little closer. Again, every time I time warp, so I'm going to time warp ahead 2 minutes. I'm going to just look at this. Because every time I time warp, this time gets messed up. So let's get it to 25 minutes on the mission clock. I'm doing this very cautiously now. Okay, we're 14 minutes away. I'm not sure. Should I be reducing my speed? I got all 3 engines lit now, ready to go, so... No, I can bring down the speed pretty quick. I got enough thrust. So let's take off another couple of minutes here. So I'll get this to 30 minutes on the mission clock. 5:30 on the mission clock up here. Lots of cloud-based stuff going by. In the icy coma of the comet. Okay, I'm actually starting to see something there. According to this, I'm 59 kilometers away, but McJeb is, or Kerbal engineer is saying something else. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. We're about 10 minutes away. Let's reduce our speed a little bit. Now I'm pushing, as long as I can push this time up, I'm fine. So I just gave a little bit of throttle and this time too started going up. So I'm clearly not coming in too fast. So I'm going to add another 5 minutes to the mission clock. So to 5:35 on the mission clock. Up here. And we're going to catch ourselves a comet. I'm being told, like, maybe in map view on the place in orbit you want to warp to. I've done that before and got messed up. I'm totally now doing this manually. I understand what you're saying, and in fact, I even thought about it, and then I went, no, I don't trust the game no more. I don't trust any of the automatic warping things. I'm just going to simply going to do this, eyeball it the whole way. Okay, we're about 5 minutes away, still going at about 90 meters per second relative to the comet. We're starting to see a little bit of an actual object there. Let's see if I give a little thrust. Okay, we're holding our time to... Oh, no, it's still going up, so I can probably safely take off another couple of minutes. So we'll take this to 7:30 on the mission clock. No, sorry, that's an hour. 5:37 on the mission clock. Let's not make a mistake just based upon wrong order of magnitude. Let's see. We're 3 minutes away. Let's give a little bit of thrust. And you can see I'm still pushing the time away even with that. So I can very easily kill my speed. Let's take off another minute. So we'll take this to 5:38 on the mission clock. 5:38:20. I don't even know what these comets look like. Do they look just like asteroids? I would think they would. Okay, we're under 2 minutes away. Try and reduce my speed a little bit here. Doing a little bit of throttle. The speed's coming down. The time too is staying a constant. That's what I kind of like. As long as I can keep that from going down further, there's no way I'm going to blow by it this time. And in fact, the time too just went up, so I'm going to wait. Cut throttle, get ourselves a little closer. It looks like a big ice cube, doesn't it? It looks pretty white. Suggest you keep your speed at about 1/1000th of the range, or 1/100th of the range. So my range is 7. So if I divide that by 100, that's 7 kilometers. 7,000 divided by 100 is 70. Like almost what I'm doing. That's a nice system. It's about what I got. I'm just going to keep the time too about a constant. So I'm going to let it get down to about a minute. And then it definitely looks very white. Which of course makes sense. Just giant dirty snowball, isn't it? In fact, they're very dirty snowballs. There's a lot of crap. Okay, let's give ourselves a little throttle. Again, just trying to kind of hold that time constant. It's at 58 seconds. Oh, it's actually going up a little bit. That's okay. But if you're ever doing rendezvous, I honestly think the most useful number is this time 2 number. So going by the 1/100th rule, I can't see that now. We're 2,000, so 128. So we'll reduce this to 28. I'll go with that rule. Okay, let's cut the throttle again. I can probably do a little bit of honing in too. Maybe not. Just leave it on retrograde. We're close enough. Yeah, the comet nuclei are actually very small. Relative to the coma and relative to the and definitely relative to the whole tail thing. Now, if I zoom out enough, can I start to see actually the detail? Yeah, just a sec. Let's just calm down here a little. Let's give a little bit more throttle. A tiny amount of throttle. I'm probably being overly cautious, given that I just blew by it. I don't think that's entirely unjustified. That is a wonderful... I do not have any kind of grabber or anything, so we're not going to hook onto it. We're just going to park up beside it. A little more throttle. Now, of course, the time, too, could be right to the center of this thing. So I gotta be a little careful. And, you know, Bob's gonna get the... I think the pleasure, the experience of actually flying right up to this thing. Actually, I think we're gonna do two, because one we're gonna process in the lab. Let's zero this out. One of our things we're going to process in the lab, and the other one we're going to, there we go. We are parked right beside a comet. If I zoom out, can I actually see, like, details of the tail? And I'm just scrolling out with the mouse. Not really. There's us right there. We are at the very front of that. Okay. All right, Bob, you're going to get to go first. Let's go get ourselves a comet. So the contract, let's open that up, is simply to get a surface sample. So I would think this is all there is to this. What is that? I just saw that was some sort of artifact going by. There are little things flying by there. Every once in a while, you see a little bit of debris going by. It's cool that that's modeled. See, there we go. Little chunks are coming off. Okay, can I do a sample here? Take a sample. Oh, I just touched, I think. Nope, take a sample. 27 science. Come on. How can it be less than what it takes to do something like a mystery goo in orbit around the moon? 27 science. For goodness sakes. Okay, we're gonna go back. Yeah, there's all kinds of debris floating around here. See that? That's cool that that's modeled. 27 science. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do this in 3 parts. We're going to transmit one of these. Then we're going to keep one to bring back home. And then we're going to process one in the lab. So this one I'm going to transmit. So review data. And we're going to transmit this for 22.7 science. Is that going to satisfy this contract? Because I don't know what I've been doing. There it is. Contract's now satisfied with that little trick. All right. For a second there, I thought I was around the wrong comet. You have successfully transmitted data back from Comet Agarod Barford Sinan 1. Job well done. 80,000 funds. I'm laughing at just how small that is. Okay, next we're going to get Zambinis. Zambinis needs to take a turn. Now this is still like orbit about the sun if I do something like an EVA report. Yeah, so that's not worth anything. I do like the look of it, though. Okay, take a sample. So that's 6.6 science. And Zambinis is going to stick that into the command module at the top, the cupola module. Then we got to think about getting these folks back home. And I gotta be honest, I was sort of kind of winging that part. I got a feeling this is gonna take a long time. I have kind of half a plan, but not what I would call a very detailed plan. Okay, store that, and now you're gonna go back there. You're gonna take one more sample. And this one's to be processed in the lab to give our 2 scientists something to do. 27 science. Jeepers creepers. Okay. Oh, it's up here. Take sample. Oh, you can rename the comet. Nah, I'm not going to rename the comet. Comet's got a good name. But, yeah. Plenty of EVA repellent, so that's not a problem. All right. Board. And review that data and process it. Okay. So that gives them still some more data to do. There's still the one that's sitting in here for 6.6 science for whatever that's worth. We can now actually start up the lab, I guess, again. Might as well. So start research. All right, let's start thinking about getting these folks home. So, go back to target selection to unselect the comet. We don't care about the comet no more. So we are in this orbit. We need to intersect with Kerbin. Now, the obvious thing for me to do this efficiently is to raise this periapsis to get up to Kerbin's orbit. Unfortunately, I have to do this at apoapsis, and that is 2 years, 415 days away. But I think this is my best plan. I have 1,249 meters per second left in which to do all this, so I'm hoping that is going to be, I'm going to be okay with that. Okay, let's zoom in on here. Now, of course, I'm not going to get a Kerbin encounter. I can certainly set it as a target. Unless I'm really, really, really lucky. But that seems to me to be kind of unlikely. What's really nice, again, is that the descending node is right where that periapsis is. So we are crossing Kerbin's orbit right there. Now, what is 13,329,000, and it is 13,338. So I just need to be a little bit bigger. 338. Okay, so there's a periapsis right at the same altitude as Kerbin's orbit. Okay, but of course we're missing it. You can see right here, let's take that off, that here is our closest approach to Kerbin, and Kerbin is way over here. So we are missing it, but that is to have been expected. So what I'm going to do next is do a maneuver right around here. This is 5 years, 350 days in the future. And with this maneuver, we're going to start bringing this down. And what we should be seeing is like, right? See how we're getting close to an encounter here. So we're creating a second orbit. We should be able to there we go. And we got a Kerbin encounter. Okay, so that is just a 166 meter per second burn. And we're getting ourselves a Kerbin encounter. But I want to facilitate this a little bit more. So I'm going to keep burning. I got 1,249 meters per second to play with. So let's see if we can get it to go around one more time. And also, the lower I can get my orbit here, the slower our encounter will be with Kerbin, which is a good thing. Why is this maneuver not going up? Like right here. Oh, because I have two maneuvers. I got to watch that. Okay, there's 166 meter per second maneuver. This one's 600 now. Okay, got to watch that. I was watching this one and it doesn't change, but that's the first maneuver up here. Dopey Dora. Okay, let's see if we can go around one more time. Now we're coming down from about Drez's altitude. There, it was very close to an encounter. That is now a 1,000 meter per second burn plus this. That's too much. So I'm going to that's not going to get, I'm going to push this back up. So I want to leave myself a little bit of wiggle room, of course. Oh, that was a little bit too much there. And we'll be tweaking this burn again, no doubt, after I do the first one. So this is a 446 meter per second burn right here. That puts us into this red orbit, which will have us come around and meet up with Kerbin. How far into the future? How far? 9 years into the future. But I think that's my best approach. So what's this? This is about 550. This is 166. So that would be 660, 670... or 650. What am I doing? It's 550. It's going to be about 725, something like that. 715, 716 meters per second. I still have 1,200, so I'm using just a little bit over half. That leaves me a lot of wiggle room. A lot of stuff to do further maneuvers. So we're getting them home. I'm not worried about that part now. Let's focus our view here and see if I can actually tweak into. Oh, we're coming way below it, so we'll have to do a plane change, all of that business. You know what? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take this second maneuver. I'm going to delete it. And then while I'm doing all this, we'll also do the plane change. That makes such more sense. So I want to get this plane change with this burn way out here. So sorry for all the fiddling, but this stuff gets fiddly. So we're going to do a plane change. Oh, that's going the wrong way. Okay, get the ascending node right to 0. Probably have to do a little bit of timing change here. Get that DN right on the PE. Beautiful. That's 0. And I want the PE to be 13,338 kilometers. 13,338,000 kilometers. Let's get that right. A little more retrograde. 338. So I like that I did that second burn, set it up, even though I deleted it, only because it at least lets me see that I got enough fuel to get this all done, and it's not going to be terrible for my Kerbals. I don't want to leave them up here. I don't want to have to do no rescue mission or anything like that. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so we're going to kind of hang out with this comet, right, for half of its orbit. All the way back up here, so be comfy with the comet. Hopefully we won't bump into it. I'll keep an eye on things. If we do, I doubt it'll be disastrous. Oh, do I still have these engines off? Nope, I got all the engines on. Okay, that is good. And I'll keep an eye on this. We'll extend these other solar panels. I should probably do some sort of maneuver to move away from the comet, but I kind of don't want to, only because that I'll have to rejigify that maneuver, and I don't want to do it. All right, let's get out there. So, oh, comet moved away anyway. Might come back. Gotta be really careful. Chances of hitting it are pretty slim. Alright, how are we doing? Couldn't you eat Comet as a... Wait a minute. Couldn't you set the Comet as a target and see if you are moving to it? Yeah, I could. But it looks like we're still moving away. Definitely moving away. It might come back. Chances are, though, it'll come back when I come all the way back down to periapsis, which I'm not going to do. So I think it's cool. I think the tail just disappeared. Let's set the comet as a target. I think that's a good idea. Go back to target selection. Would it be under celestial bodies? No. Debris. I don't know if there's anything. Oh, I think I have to actually find it again. Where'd the comet go? Oh, we lost it. It's no longer... Oh, wait. Here we go. No. Yeah, it's right here. No. It's too close to us for us to click on. And it's not one of these options here. Right? It's not like debris or anything. Definitely not. It is right here. Oh, I'm focused on Kerbin. Let's see if I can focus on here. Here we go. Ah! Set as target. There we go. That took some work. So it is 64,000 kilometers away. No, it's not. 64 kilometers away. 65 kilometers away and going away from us. That was probably a good idea, just to keep an eye on it like that. Anyway, we are still moving up here towards periapsis or apoapsis to perform this burn. And how is our science lab doing? It is processing that science. It's turning into, so far, 158 science. That's better than the 27 that we started with, that's for sure. Electricity is holding up, even though we're quite a ways away. Still a year away from our burn, unfortunately. Turn that off. There we go. KSP Comet Science, yes. We're going to get these folks home. That's going to be our mission. And then I got to think about what the next contract's going to be. Again, end of June, this series is ending. I'm doing 2 a week. So, and I'm doing what I think are the most interesting contracts first. So these are the ones I got left. I don't know why I picked it up, but plant a flag on the moon. That's not interesting anymore. I do have to bring a Class B asteroid into orbit about Eve. Kind of okay, but I've already done 2 asteroid things. That's, I think, my second case. But I like this one. Extract ore from Ike and deliver it to Duna. I have to extract 2,050 units of fresh ore from Ike and deliver it to Duna. That gives me an excuse to send a pile of Kerbals out towards Duna. Might see if I can use this actual Comet Hunter craft. I think that might be pretty cool. But, did this guy just expire? Is that why it's red? I think it might have. I think this guy might have expired on me. That's okay, I guess. Yeah, this has still got a lot of life left in it. So does this one. I think this one expired. Notice it's red. Plant a flag on a moon. I don't think so. Oh, but I'm time warping and there's only 6 days left. I think that one just expired. Okay, hang on. Let's deal with that later. We're getting ready to do our burn. Burn time. Burn time. So the main purpose of this burn, we got a lot of noise here, but the main purpose of this burn is to get our periapsis down to 13,338,000 kilometers. Okay, and it's a 23-second burn. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Really watch it from here, shouldn't we? Alright. Now we don't have to worry about running into that comet. We're going to be in a different orbit now. Okay, I'm just going to cut it a little early and then watch it from outside. There we go. Get out to map view. And again, where is it here? 13,338. I do not have what I thought I had. I thought I had Kerbins. There's too many numbers here. Where is our periapsis in all this? 13,000. I don't see it. Okay, I'm just going to burn the burn, and then we'll see what we got. Okay, I think I overcooked it just a smidge. Okay, what is all this? Let's get rid of the maneuver. Oh, that's the comet. Let's deselect the comet. That's confusing this. There we go. There's our burn. Okay, that is the number. 3,030. That's darn close enough for sure. Okay, all good. All good. Okay, now let's set Kerbin as a target and set this up again. Our relative inclination with Kerbin is now 0. That was the other purpose of that burn. We will set up a maneuver here to facilitate a Kerbin intercept is the plan. Notice how this time the encounter indicator is not moving. That means that the this maneuver just needs to be moved a little bit into the future. That's all that means. So just move it into the future till it jumps. Might have to just up the scale a little bit. We are interplanetary here. Come on. And it just has to do with that the maneuver is before the periapsis. Okay, let's go to 1,000. 500, 1,000. Come on. There it goes. Now it jumped. Okay. And now we can watch those. So we'll pull here. No, retrograde. Retrograde. Whoa, that was too much. Oh, I got the scale up crazy. That's why. Silly Billy. Okay, 1 encounter. 2 encounters. 3 encounter. Remember, it got around. The apoapsis was right around where Dres is. So this is getting close to 1,000 meters per second. That is too much. So I'm going to put some prograde on this. We're going to do that one right here. Okay. Let's focus our view on Kerbin. That's Kerbin there. Can I focus on you? It's right on there. Focus view. There we go. Back to the maneuver. Bring down. Oh no, the scale's good. Okay. Other way. Prograde, prograde, prograde. There's our encounter. Focusing on Kerbin. And we want to put this guy into the atmosphere. If we can do little tweaks along the way, of course. Oh, a little bit of a moon encounter. Is it? Yeah. Nah, I don't know if the moon was in a good spot there. Sometimes, I mean, we're coming in pretty quick. I'm looking at that moon encounter, and it doesn't seem to be very helpful to use the moon as assist. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the old dump it into the atmosphere trick. And I am a little paranoid about this. Typically, I come in about 45 kilometers. We'll do a plane change too. But I might make it a little bit higher because I ain't got reverts and all that. All right. Anyway, that burn's coming up 548 meters per second. That burns in 2 years, 361 days. And our encounter with Kerbin is in 6 years. Okay. To focus on the planet, you can click on the orbit. Really? Serious? Like if I go over here and just click on Eve? Oh my gosh. How long have I been playing this game and didn't know that? I've always been sitting there going, I gotta get on the planet. Oh my golly. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you. Okay. Let's see here. Retrograde. And we'll get these solar panels some good exposure. We still have... Oh, we're only making... No, we're going to shut down the lab. We're shutting down the lab. So I'm just going to get the solar panels this way. We're going to shut down the lab. Stop research. There's only 0.007 science per day is being generated. We're going to retract a couple of these because now with the lab not running, we certainly don't need that much generation. All right. One of your Kerbals needs a flyby of the moon to level up. Yeah, we'll work on that. Why not use the moon intercept to get a fly? Maybe. We'll play around with this. Right now, I'm just going to get the encounter set up. And then it just looked like when I was flying by the moon, we were going so fast that the moon wasn't really giving us much of a hand, if you know what I mean. It didn't look like our trajectory was changing. But maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll go back and take a look at that moon encounter. But that doesn't change what I got to do with this burn anyway. Or at least doesn't change it much. Alright, so time warping, full time warp. Here we are, coming back down. Where are we here? There we are, way up here. Falling back towards Kerbin. I got some science to transmit, but I'm going to wait until I'm down here at periapsis. I'm sure my signal will be a lot stronger. And then we're going to do this burn here, which will put us in this orange orbit. Ignore this green orbit. That's our orbit after encountering Kerbin, which obviously we're not going to come. The whole idea of once we encounter Kerbin is that we don't leave Kerbin's SOI afterward. Yeah, I'll try and do the moon flyby. We'll see how I do. At the very least, what I can do is collect more science. Doesn't hurt. All right, where are we at? What are we at now, by the way? We are now in year 10 of this mission. Year 10 of this mission. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, better time where it might have been a good investment. Now that I'm doing this. I mean, I talked about quality of life mods, and this is the first time I've gotten, you know, out this far in the solar system, or the Kerbal system, and now that I'm out this far, I kind of wish I did have better time warp to give me. It does a variety of different things, but one of the things it does is it gives you more time warp past this full time warp that we're at. But I mean, we're getting there. 1 year, 100, almost 1 year, 100 days. And we're accelerating, of course, as we're falling. Yeah, if you're going to do something like the Outer Planets, definitely better time warp would be the thing. The problem is from here, there's nothing to see. Where are we? Here we are. So many numbers. So here goes Kerbin racing away from us. Going, we're trying to catch you, Kerbin. Slow down. Let us catch you. Kerbin's like, nope. Oh, let's keep going. I'm on my orbit. All right. What are we at here? Just under 300 days to the burn. But then, of course, we're going to be reducing the period of our orbit substantially. So that'll help. And this is a 1 minute and 5 second burn. The second biggest burn, I think, of this whole thing. The biggest one being the one that got us, you know, set up to rendezvous with the comet in the first place. Okay, 120 days. I think I'm going to try and keep this. I really want to look into I think I am going to make the next mission to go to Duna. And Ike specifically. We're going to have to land on Ike and get some ore going. But I'm wondering if maybe using this. Now, obviously, I'll need a lander. But what I can do is if this thing has the Delta V to get to Duna and get back, then I could send just a lander in a separate vehicle without any crew on it, and we're a minute from our burn, and just send it out there and put it in orbit of Ike, and this thing can go and rendezvous with it. I probably should, if I'm going to do something like that, put some RCS on that, but that wouldn't be, well, I'd have to do it in orbit, wouldn't I? Well, you can always make it the passive vehicle and rendezvous with the lander. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, we are now set up for our burn. And then we'll look at we'll look at our encounter, and we'll re-examine that moon encounter. Okay, here we go. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Mike, did you ever go to unlock the secret launch sites? If you fly by them within 1 kilometer, you can launch vessels from them. Well, by the secret launch sites, are you talking like the Boomerang launch site and the Desert launch site and that kind of stuff? I think I had them so that I think I changed it in the settings. I might not have, but I think I changed it in the settings so that those are available right from the get-go. If I'm not mistaken. I have launched from those sites before. Launching from Boomerang and going to the moon, you know, Boomerang is an interesting one because it's so far north of the equator. And it just, if you've never done it before, it certainly is something that's worth a try. Do it once. But I've not done it much. There's one near the water. Sorry, I gotta watch my burn here. Okay, I'm just gonna cut throttle right there, and then we're gonna look at our Kerbin encounter. Ah, come back. Come back. Okay, let's do the rest of this. Should be starting to see our trajectory coming in. Do we not even have the encounter just yet? And there's only 2 meters per second left in the burn. Here it comes. Here it comes. You know what? What I'll do, let's leave it right where it is. And then we'll explore the moon encounter thing. Sorry, so I'm getting back to this. No, there's one near the water and one in the crater. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't fly around Kerbin that much. I don't find it that fun, to be quite frank. I'd rather be out here. Okay, let's explore that moon flyby that people were talking about. So, in order to do the moon flyby, so as people can see now, we're now in this purple. Well, I don't know. I think our 2 orbits are right on top of each other, but we're in this orbit. Yeah, there's a blue and a purple orbit right on top of each other because, yeah. And we're going to be encountering Kerbin when? 3 years and 77 days from now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a maneuver about halfway along. Okay, this is getting confusing. If you start to see too many of these conics, you can get into your settings, just for people that don't know this. Like, it's this purple orbit. The purple orbit is the orbit that I have after encountering Kerbin, but it's right on top of my blue orbit because I'm not that close to Kerbin. And that's confusing. But if you go down here, where's it talk about patched conics? You can reduce the number of patches that you see. I probably believe, there it is, conic patch limit. If I reduce that, let's apply 3 conic patch limits. Nope, let's apply 2 conic patch limits. That's the lowest. Accept. Resume game. Oh, I think I went 1 too many, too few. Settings. Let's go to 3 conic patch limits. Apply and accept. Resume. Okay. So now, oh no, now the blue purple one's back. I don't want that. Settings. Two conic patch limits. Apply and accept. Okay. But now I lose my blue one too. What's that all about? Oh no, the blue one's here. No, it's not. Why am I not seeing my current orbit? That's what's confusing. There's my ship. It's not showing my current orbit. I don't know why. There's just showing my apoapsis. Okay, let's get back and fix that. I guess I'll have to go back to... Put it back to 3. Apply and accept, but then I get resume. I mean, I should be able to see my current orbit, for goodness sakes. Let's put it back on me. You know what it is? It's showing my Kerbin encounter 3 years from now. Let's just time warp so I'm past that. See that? But the game's confused. There we go. Game's confused. What else is new? Okay. I want to put a maneuver right about here. Let's explore. All right, focus view on Kerbin. Let's explore the moon encounter business. See if I can get something productive out of it. Okay, so move to this maneuver. We're just going to play with the radially inwards. So, oh, I need to up the scale a little bit here. There we go, radial the other way. So where? Let's get the moon. Focus view on, not focus view on the moon. Set moon as target. Okay. Maneuver. I don't know. Now all of a sudden I'm not seeing a moon encounter at all. There was a moon encounter there before, but now I'm not getting it. See, we're very far from encountering the moon. Maybe it was looking at like some point in the future. I got it. Maybe if I'm on this side, I might get a moon encounter, but I don't want to do that because that has me going around Kerbin in a retrograde direction. Sorry, now I do have to add in another conic. I don't think it was the lack of conics that was confusing the game before. I think it was something else. Add another conic. I think I've got it now back up to where it was before. 5 patch conics. Oh, for goodness. Oh, no, it's right here. It's this red one. But what I don't like about this is I'm on the retrograde side of Kerbin. And I don't think, no matter how I encounter the moon, see, and there's my trajectory blasting out of here after my encounter. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it, folks, to try and go for this moon flyby. I think it's going to be something that's... And if I'm on the other side, I'm nowhere near the moon. And I want to be on the prograde side of Kerbin. So a moon encounter isn't really... Maybe I might get a moon encounter after encountering Kerbin. Could do that. You know what I mean? Like, you come in. You know what I'm trying to say. Come in, encounter Kerbin, leave your apoapsis out here. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm going to set this periapsis to 50 kilometers. Maybe adjusting that once we're here. I think I also might play a little bit with this normal. Oh, up, jumped a lot more. Try and sort of be in the right plane. At least close to it. That's pretty good. A little bit out. A little bit in. We're so going to be tweaking this one once we're in Kerbin's SOI anyway. I actually have the moon still set as a target, so this inclination is my inclination relative to Kerbin's equator too, so maybe I can get that as small as I can. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So that gets me in the plane of the moon. Let's set Kerbin as a target again. And maybe after that we'll get a... Where's Kerbin? This way. Yeah, boom. There we go. And maybe after that we'll see about getting a moon encounter. Might still do a moon flyby. Might be worth my time. But this burn is not coming up for another... Again, 2 years, 280 days. And I am sort of taking a look at where we're at the stream. Oh, I did want to transmit some science away. Yes, let's transmit the science. Oh, I'm still time warping. And all of that. Transmit science. So we'll transmit the science that we've collected away. There's no more data for us to process, so that's going to be kind of the end of that little fun. But in 2 years, 280 days, we're going to have a little bit of a tweak maneuver here. Then we're going to find Kerbin in just a little over 3 years, and we're going to have to try and figure out how we're going to get these folks, because this thing can't land on Kerbin. It's got an aero brake in itself into a low orbit. And we got to get it to a space plane that is sitting there in low orbit that's ready to take these folks back down. Maybe we'll get ourselves a moon encounter, maybe we won't. But all of that, I think, is going to have to be for the next episode. So, because I'm looking at the time of the stream, I think I'm going to have to close it. That next episode, again, is on Thursday coming up, not next week. So just 2 days from now. So I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody watching this at a later date. Extra special thank you to the Patreon patrons and YouTube members who directly support the channel, and to all the people that indirectly support the channel, feeding the algorithm through participating with the content in any way they can. Participating in chat, commenting down below, liking, subscribing, and all of that good stuff. Have yourself a fantastic couple of days, and hopefully we'll see you all again on Thursday. Bye, everybody.